Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Our World Halls Empire. It's your girl Carrie Ann, and today we are going to be talking a bit about renting as an expat in the UK. Now, if you're new to the UK, the process of renting can really be challenging, but fear not because your girl Carrie is here, and I'm giving you 7 tips as it relates to renting a property in the UK today. Now, let's jump right into it. Tip number 1, research. Now, you have to do a thorough research before deciding where you actually want to live. Now, you may have a job offer, you may be coming to study, but you also have to factor in the cost of living in that particular area that you may be working or studying. Are you able to manage the rental cost in that area with that salary? Now, when you weigh those options, you will decide, okay, can I do this rental property? Now, the reality is you have to look on the cost of living. That's the major thing you want to look at in that area because you don't want to have all of your salary going towards rent because there are other utilities, there are transportation costs that you also have to bear in mind. You also want to check if that property is safe, right? So research is very important as it relates to starting the process of renting a property. Now, with research, it comes with tip number 2, make a budget. Now, a budget is very important to put all your rent, all your utilities, so your gas, your light, your water, all of those, you need to put them in your budget, right? Now, your salary is very important, but you also have to factor in, does it work with all of these bills? Does it actually work? Now, apart from rent and utilities, you also have what's called counter tax that you may have to pay. You have transportation cost, and you may also have TV licensing if you are watching live TV. Now, you have to bear all of this in mind, and I'll leave a lovely financial planner in the description because it helps you to actually organize all your budget together on a monthly basis. So you can get a copy of this financial planner on Amazon and check it out in the description. Now, tip number 3, soon as you've sorted your research and your budget, you want to start delving into Rightmove, Zoopla, Facebook Marketplace to find a property. Now, once you find the suitable property that matches up with the budget, then you're wanting to actually schedule a viewing for this property. Now, when you schedule a viewing, I recommend that you view the property in person to find out whether or not it suits your needs. Now, housing is very important. You want to be comfortable. You're going to be living there for a while. You want to check that property out to find out whether or not there are any damages or repairs that needs to be done before you actually move in. Right? So view that property in person. Now, let's look at tip number 4, contracts. Now, as soon as you view the property, obviously you're going to want to sign contracts to seal that deal. Now, you need to read the contract. I know some of us find reading quite difficult, but this is a very important document that you must read to find out what is in that rental agreement. Does it include your length of tenancy? Does it include the rental amount? Does it include any fees or deposits? Find out what is in that contract before you actually sign it, because signing it means that you're agreeing to it. Now, another thing you may recognize on a contract is that they may add photos. With the photos, you have to match them up with your property viewing. Do they add up? Are they photos from the actual property? Right? So do all of that before actually signing the contract. All right, tip number 5, deposits. Now, landlords and letting agencies usually require a deposit before you move in. Now, this is to cover any damages or unpaid rent at the end of the tenancy agreement. Now, always remember that your deposit is held in what's called a tenancy deposit protection scheme. So it is really protected, and it is really there to protect you in the case of, as we said before, if you have any damages or if you cannot pay the rent a particular month. Now, always bear in mind that every area, every city requires something different as it relates to deposit. You may be required a 5 weeks deposit. You may be required no deposit. It depends on where you are. So when you're looking on Zoopla and Rightmove, you can also view if there is a deposit required for that property. Now, tip number 6, communication. Now, you need to communicate effectively with your landlord or letting agents because you may have issues at the property. You may have maintenance issues that needs to be repaired, and it is best to call or contact these agencies as well as the landlord to fix the problems that you're having. Now, in the case that you're running behind late on rent, you can also inform your landlord or your letting agency that you're having difficulties in this regard. And of course, it will be better to communicate this rather than just not paying the rent. Now, that takes us into our final tip, tip number 7, tenancy checkout. Now, when your tenancy comes to an end, you will need to check out of that property. Now, bear in mind that you were given a contract with the photos of how you got the property. You want to ensure that the property is in the same condition. If you've damaged anything, we suggest that you repair them before leaving, right? And obviously, this will give you a good reference for future renting, because obviously sometimes you may have that landlord giving you a reference for future landlords. So you want to ensure that the property is left in a great condition. All right, so that really concludes our 7 tips. Renting is not really difficult. It's just that you need the right information. And with these 7 tips, you should be able to navigate the rental market well in the UK, right? And I hope you found this video very useful. If you did, just hit that thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, share, and definitely tune in for more content like this. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. House Empire out.